Watch John Kennedy absolutely eviscerate these professors. They showed up completely unprepared for the reality of what is actually happening across the rest of the country. They sat before the Senate and argued that we need to get rid of gas cars and switch to electric vehicles immediately. But Kennedy wasn't having it. He exposed that these elites want to spend trillions of your tax dollars on a fantasy. Let's dive in.
To get rid of the gas car and drive an electric car. Can any of you give me a figure?
Yes, Senator, the Treasury Department reports we spent about $1 billion year to date. So for the first half of this year, so roughly $2 billion this year.
We're behind.
As I noted,
how much do you think it'll cost, Doctor? You're a doctor,
so
right?
$2 billion this year is what the estimate from the Treasury Department.
How much do you think it will cost for us to, let's say, get 75% of these 200?
How much will it cost American consumers to remain?
How much? Do you know how much it'll cost, Doctor?
No one knows the future with certainty, Senator.
Right. You just think we ought to keep throwing money at it until we hit the jackpot.
I think we ought to set a stable policy framework that allows American consumers to become familiar with the environment and American businesses to innovate and to compete within that stable framework. That's what I said earlier in my testimony.
And how much will that cost?
Will cost less than the benefits delivered by the policy.
You don't care how much it costs, do you?
I care if the benefits exceed the costs. I don't care about the costs. These are investments in the public.
You don't care how much it costs, do you?
I care very much how much it costs. As long as the benefits exceed the costs, that's an investment worth making.
Well, so, okay.
How much does it cost to seed the industries of the future to China?
I get to ask the questions, Doc.
Sorry.
You're at Princeton, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. How are Jewish students doing at Princeton? Are they feeling better?
That has nothing to do with the hearing today. I'm not going to comment on that.
I didn't think you'd want to talk about that. Do any of you have any idea how much it would cost?
Senator,
You'd say 75% of the American people
Senator,
driving electric cars.
if I could, your question is fair. One answer to it is the cost of inaction of the U.S. not competing is far greater than any incentive on the front
Okay,
end.
quantify that for me. Oh, man, I'm way over. I'm sorry, Sheldon. Quantify that for me, because here's
Once you wrap up with this, because I think
I will.
everybody's had a chance to try to answer your question, and
Here's
you're
my
repeating
problem.
it at this
Okay,
point.
we all want clean air, we all want bright water, we all want to eat, and we all want to live indoors. Okay? But there are trade-offs in all of this. Despite what the Princeton professor thinks, we don't have unlimited money. This is not Princeton. So we have to decide the cost and the benefits. And nobody seems to be able to quantify the costs. They just say, keep throwing money at it, throwing money at it, throwing money at it. And nobody can really quantify the benefits, except if we don't do it, then we're all going to die. And when I go back to my people and say, your electricity costs have gone up 30%, but it's for a good cause. Why, Kennedy? Because you're going to die if we don't do it. Why, Kennedy? Because a professor at Princeton says so. That doesn't work for most Americans. Can you answer that for me? You see my frustration. I love driving an electric car. I think they're really cool. But the median household income in my state's $55,000. Our Princeton professor probably makes that in a week. Okay? They don't care what they think at Princeton. Can you answer that for me, guys?
I can't answer how much it's going to cost, but I can tell you that just last year alone, China in the EV market subsidized it by $12.4 billion, and that's their annual spend. It's more than, even with in our best year, it's more than two-thirds of the United States spends.
But let me ask you a question. How much will it cost China to become carbon neutral by 2050?
I am very concerned. Well, they won't, but I'm more concerned about the risk to the U.S. economy of losing the auto manufacturing industry.
How much would it cost them? Do you know? See, nobody talks about the cost. I'll tell you how much it'll cost them. It'll cost them $1 trillion a year starting today to be carbon neutral by 2050. You know how much it'll cost Russia? $250 billion a year. 3 times what their defense budget. Now, if you believe that Vladimir Putin is going to spend $250 billion for climate change, then you'll never own your own home. So we go spend all this money, which y'all can't quantify. We just keep spending. They don't spend the money, They're at an advantage, and you know how much world temperatures are lowered? None. Zero, zilch, nada. And I can't believe our chairman hadn't cut me off. But I am done.
Now's your moment.
I am
Senator
done.
Kennedy, for your enthusiastic participation.
Senator Kennedy just exposed the dirty little secret of the Green New Deal. They have no idea how much it costs, and they don't care. Did you see that expert? He wants to force 75% of Americans to drive electric cars. But when Kennedy asked for the price tag, he said, "No one knows." Kennedy nailed him. You just think we ought to keep throwing money at it until we hit the jackpot. That is exactly how Washington works. They spend your money on their experiments, and when inflation skyrockets, they shrug their shoulders. And I loved the moment Kennedy brought up the Princeton professor salary. He pointed out the reality gap. The average family in Louisiana makes $55,000 a year. These elites make that in a week. It's easy to preach about $60,000 electric cars when you are rich, but for normal Americans, it's a disaster. But the most important point was about China and Russia. Kennedy proved that while we bankrupt ourselves trying to go carbon neutral, our enemies are building coal plants and growing their economies. As Kennedy said, we spend the money, they get the advantage, and global temperatures drop by zero, zilch, nada. I want to know what you think in the comments. Is the push for electric vehicles a scam to control us? Let me know below. And folks, if you stand with Kennedy and common sense, hit that like button and subscribe. We are just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.